The amount that racism against Asians is normalized in society to deal with people making passing comments about eating dogs. New study shows racism may shorten Black Americans' held a Black college student at gunpoint is a
positive stereotypes aren't positive.
People would only become friends with me because I was a smart kid in class.
I would be insecure of my skin color and culture to the point that I was embarrassed.
People saying these things without thinking about them and thinking it's like really funny.
Stereotypes are the mental images and ideas of a particular person or thing that are then applied to the individual. There are many types of stereotypes. Most common stereotypes are racial and gender stereotypes. There are also positive and negative types of stereotypes, and both of which are harmful. You may be questioning why positive stereotypes may be harmful. Well, positive stereotypes cause expectations and standards that can harm and hurt those that may not be able to fulfill it.
Well, in my 15 years, I've been discriminated and stereotyped against because I'm Asian.
People are usually surprised by things that I do or have because they don't fit into the Black stereotypes. For example, people used to tell me that I talked well when I was just talking normally, and I would overlook it, but then they would say the same thing to my mom, an adult woman.
I would hear people in the back at school or something call me Ching Chong because I was Asian, or Duke this with their eyes because I have small eyes just because I'm Asian. And this really hurt me because it was strangers.
Throughout my lifetime, there was sometimes that I would encounter situations where people would only become friends with me because I'm Asian, and being Asian, that's like associated with the stereotype of being smart, which kind of made it difficult to live up to those expectations, and like the fear of disappointing others.
In 2013 and 2014, there were over 47,000 incidents recorded by the England police that surrounded stereotypes and a perceived race or races. In 2012 to 2015, there was an average of 106,000 cases of hate crimes that were related to race in England.
The thing about Indians is that they are stereotyped to be like really strict and really like bossy. And I remember in elementary school, I was working on a group project with a couple of other kids in my grade, and one of the kids came up to like another person in the group, and they said that they knew they shouldn't have partnered with me because I was bossy just like all the other Indians, and that really hurt me. And now I'm just like really scared to like take the lead in group projects because I don't want to like appear bossy or be like rude or anything, so I kind of just accept things the way they are now.
When I was younger, I would face different types of stereotypes because, again, directed towards me being an Asian American. And from experiences from when I was younger, I guess I've grown stronger as an individual to have a better mindset of myself and be more confident with myself.
I was taught at a very young age to have to act a certain way in order to not be perceived as a threat to the people around me. So like I can be black, but I can't be like too black, as if we all fit into one category. And it was really hard while growing up in a predominantly white neighborhood. It messed with my identity and being able to recognize the fact that that was directly none of my fault, but the fault of the stereotypes that people had put on black people was kind of hard to deal with sometimes.
Yes, I have felt targeted due to stereotypes, as some people would tend to use some stereotypes as a justification as to why I should and shouldn't do things.
Yes, especially around this time where there was a coronavirus outbreak in China, and then me being Chinese, there's like a stereotype that all Asians or all Chinese people have the coronavirus, which hits close to home because I have family members in China that we are worrying about the potential of them getting the virus itself, as well as dealing with these almost racist comments from people. It's very difficult in a way because this event itself, or any event that leads to different stereotypes, shouldn't be an excuse for other individuals who don't quite fully understand the issue to be racist or treat others differently because of the circumstance. It shouldn't be an excuse.
So, stereotypes against Asians would sometimes make me feel like that I didn't want to be Asian, and that I wish I was white, which is the superior race in America, because Asians are generally immigrants that come from other countries. They have Asian accents, and they don't dominate in the world in America. So people who judge me and base their stereotypes because I'm Asian lowered my esteem, and it made me feel really unwanted in America, and that I didn't belong in a school full of whites. I didn't feel like I belonged there either.
I feel that stereotypes really affect the whole group that is being targeted. So the said group changes things about themselves or erases a part of their culture and identity to a more Western custom, and I can say that by experience. This is essentially saying that stereotypes often assimilate other groups to become more Americanized or fit into the norm. This makes it harder for younger generations to accept a part of their identity, as previous generations have become more accustomed to Western culture rather than their own traditional.
I think that growing up with predetermined labels and a bunch of people telling you that you are this and they are that definitely will affect the way you view people around you that are different than you. For example, racists aren't born, it's the environment they are raised in and things that are told that in their youth that make them that way.
I feel like as more generations go on, they kind of become more desensitized to stuff. So like things that would have been offensive maybe like 50 years ago aren't as offensive to them now because they're so like exposed to all of it. So I do think it has an effect on like their viewpoints of stuff, but I think it's just like all these stereotypes are just like normalized for them at this point.
Yes, stereotypes are definitely a part of discrimination towards people of color, especially because of my darker complexion compared to others. Many people around me didn't consider me to be Asian, which shows that Asian are predominantly depicted as to be Eastern Asian specifically, and people also discriminated me to be a terrorist due to believing that Muslims or people that remotely look Middle Eastern are terrorists.
Definitely, I'm literally not allowed to walk with my hands in my pockets or my hood up in stores because black people steal. My brothers are told by my mother to do everything a police officer says and always keep your hands visible because black people carry guns or black people will resort to violence. For a really long time, my mom was scared to let me sleep over people's houses that have little to no African American descent because she was scared that I'd be blamed if something went missing, which ties back to the stealing stereotype.
I think stereotypes just are a natural thing within society because not everybody is going to be accepting of everybody. Every individual is able to have their own thoughts, and like the thoughts within society, different races and are already implemented, so they just will continue to spread in that way. There's no way for it. I mean, eventually we can hope for it to stop one day, but I don't think that's possible.